This will be an updated analysis of a couple. You're looking at their chart right now. And we will be referring to the chart I just did, which was an update for September 2nd, 2017 in the evening, around 5 p.m. or so. So we're using that update for this chart, as well as another chart that I'll be doing as well between now and tomorrow. Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I'm Gat, your host. So let's look at this chart and kind of see what's going on a little bit. I like how that astrologer on the chart to the left, I like how that astrologer drew that line to part of fortune in medium coeli. That's very interesting. And it's right at Gemini too. And Gemini represents the twins. And then it has Mars with Mars and Aries, because Aries is the first house, and that looks like the first house. Pretty sure that's the first house. And so you got a lot of energy. And it goes right to 22. I want to tell you that's like I've seen a lot of natal charts, but that chart right there is that's the most interesting thing I've ever seen as far as natal charts, because it's a lot being said. Because Gemini is a communication sign, and when you see Gemini with a Mars, it could mean like a short temper, and somebody's short temper in their mouth could almost get them in trouble with their job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if not with their job, even with their mentor, because medium coeli is usually your 10th house, but it looks like their medium coeli is their 9th house, but that's still your mentor. The person in your 9th house, that when medium coeli is in your 9th house, that's usually your mentor. So this person on the left, they may have somewhat of a short temper. And it's ironically aimed right at their mentor. And that could mean a lot of stuff. But usually that person takes a mentor position, or it could be somebody like an older man or older person, older woman, even the cases. But at the end of the day, it's usually a mentor. And I just don't know why they would do that the way they did it. All right. So what I want to do before we go any further, let's look at the compatibility. Sun sign Taurus, sun sign Virgo. So we'll do that first. All right, give me a second. I'm looking it up. Oh, they even have pet compatibility. Isn't that wonderful? Look at this. Are you soulmates? All right. Rising for you. Call now. Okay. So love match. Sun sign Taurus, sun sign Virgo. It's funny. It said today's tip, your September horoscope. It's time to get your shit together. Love. And I kind of said that when I did it. I wasn't as blunt, which is very rare because usually I'm very blunt. But I wasn't blunt, but I saw it in it. When I did the updated space chart, I kind of said the universe is working really hard to help people get this stuff together. And they actually said today's tip. So let me hit this as a screenshot. Give me a moment. I'm just waiting for that noise. There you go. All right, now I'm going to go here and get the picture. There you have it. All right, we'll continue. Say they're both earth rule signs and they value tranquility and discretion. They have all the ingredients for a harmonious love affair. Anxious Virgo finds reassurance in the solid bull, whereas the Taurian bull derives needed peace and energy from the Virgo. A caress, a gaze, a gesture, each is worth 1,000 words when it comes to expressing the tenderness that binds them together. So, okay, so the bull really needs to be acknowledged. They're very sensual people. So they're going to kind of like touches, eye contact, any recognition of encouragement or affection. Now, what happens with a Virgo, they're just detail oriented. And that's where the problem can rise. Because you may do something and you think it's great, but the Virgo's like, no, you missed this, you missed that, you misspelled that. And that's where the problem can arise. So when a person's aware of that, they can realize that, because that'll help the relationship. The Taurus needs that sensitivity, sensual stuff. And the Virgo, they need reassurance, just like this said. Because the world's not perfect, so nothing's ever going to be perfect. But I think Virgo just needs reassurance that your intention is just do the best you can do. So they're saying that Virgo might be clinging, but that's what she likes about the bull. It's something she can hold on to for reassurance. So if that's the case, but you got to make sure, because you really got to know what's leading to any type of separation, or just not being as close as they could be. So then the very next thing you want to do is let's get today's horoscope. All right. All right, we'll do the Taurus first. So what we'll do, we're going to do weekly for Taurus. So this only goes to September 3rd, which is tomorrow. It says Mercury, the planet of talk and thought, moves back into your home zone. You may be drawn to connect with family and friends you haven't seen in a while. The coming weeks can be a great opportunity for a reunion that gives you a chance to catch up. You might want to discuss your latest plans or introduce new members of the family to each other. On another note, pooling your resources can enable you to accomplish more than you might alone. It's worth considering. Now that was for Taurus, but we're still going to do a little bit more with Taurus. I'm going to put this on pause. I'll be right back. All right. So now I want to look at the love for Taurus for the week. Can we get weekly? Let me see. Okay, yes it is. So we're going to do weekly. Taurus for the week. But again, that ends tomorrow, September 3rd. You're finally willing to take a risk when it comes to love. Will the payoff be worth the initial investment? You aren't sure, but this deal is too good to let slip by. Honesty is the best policy when dating over the weekend, even when you're feeling insecure or unsure of yourself. Sometimes shyness or self-deprivation can be appealing. Just try not to go fishing for any compliments. Doing so can make you seem desperate. Okay, we're going to do one more. We'll do money. And as I did for weekly, they said money for Taurus. This week, you may be a lot more forgiving of your unconventional side, especially when it comes to words and ideas. Fun, family, and romance are foremost in your mind, but the other aspects affect your personal expression. You're a bit unique now, but it's safe to relax into it. You know when to draw the line. Okay, so that was for Taurus. Now let's do Virgo. But I want to make sure I want to do the daily first. And then when we change it in the weekly, all the way to tomorrow, September 3rd. As convivial Mercury, your guiding planet, yes, because Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, your guide planet backs into your sector of spirituality, you may find that you're more in touch with your feelings, especially buried anger. And I think I did bring that out in the when I did the space chart, updated space chart. So that video is right there on Archangel Revelations and Prophecies. You can watch it there. It's also on Real Life Metaphysics. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't express it, but instead trace it back to its source. Because that's what I'm saying. We have to find out what sets off the situation. You also might want to channel this energy into vigorous exercise, because Virgos like to be healthy, so or hard work. And Virgos is the sixth house, which can be even home. If you do, you might feel fitter or accomplish more than you have in some time. On another note, a home-based project could succeed very nicely now. So if there is anger there, that they're giving constructive ways to deal with it. Because I'll say it again. I know people don't listen, but you don't want to get in the habit of just arguing. It's not gonna like I mean, some people need it. Like if your relationship's like that where y'all have to argue, but you're still gonna be together and all that. You know, everybody's different because some people, you got to realize everybody's not the same. But for some people, arguing that's like slowly destroying everything. And for me, I know I always felt like communication is always essential. Because at least the person knows where you stand. But if you don't really communicate and you just come to conclusions and then it's all over and then sitting there trying to figure out what the heck happened, or if you're the type of person that holds it all in and then you just blow up, then they're like, why did they get so mad? Like, what's this person's problem? See, none of that's going to be conducive to a relationship with anybody. Okay, so now we're going to do love, Virgo love, and it'll be weekly. But this ends on September 3rd. You can't help but think about what might happen next. You've been on a positive tangent when it comes to dating, and everything is coming up roses as the new week begins. You don't expect surprises, but you aren't exactly shocked when something good happens. You know how to bring a smile to your date's face over the weekend, and you're particularly good with one-liners. Maybe hold off on the knock-knock jokes until date 2. Right, then we'll do career for Virgo weekly. Your lesson today will be one that is echoed to you over the next 4 weeks. Let me do that, but I want to do weekly. Daily career weekly. That was only for September 2nd. Okay, this goes all the way to September 3rd. The energy is great for presenting your ideas and selling. Be confident and wear a winning smile. The busy days in the middle of the week are likely to be distracting. Expect to juggle multiple commitments. Give me a second, please. Everything wants to act up now. Expect to juggle multiple commitments. You'll need to be flexible and ready to accommodate last-minute changes. Dressing your best and wearing a big smile will help improve your attitude and bring positive interactions with staff and clients. Don't take criticism personally. Use it as a springboard for making improvements. See, the Virgo has to remember that they do see life from a very detailed, analytical, and often critical. They don't mean to be, but they are. And that could be annoying for anybody. So you want to make sure you're aware of that. Communication has to be such a way that people can take what you're saying. And you also have to ask yourself, do you really need to say it? Because we don't have to say everything we think or feel. Especially if it's going to start an argument or it's going to push a person further away from us. Okay, now I do want to do the health for Virgo, but I also want to do the health for Taurus. So this is the health for Virgo. Weekly health. Leisure, fun, sports are highlighted, and you might feel moved to get involved in competitive events. You enjoy testing your skill, strength, and stamina in competition with others. You can also get the chance to meet new people while getting fit. This could prove to be a more enjoyable way of exercising than working out alone. Okay, let's see what they say for Taurus and health. If you feel like going on a vacation, maybe it's exactly what you should do. The cosmos suggests that you'll benefit greatly from being in the fresh air, swimming in the ocean, or hiking in the woods. The time you spend outdoors will do good for you a lot. You'll blossom in all ways, and your health will improve quite dramatically. All right. I'm just looking at something else. Right now, we're going to look at what the updated space chart said. Okay, for Taurus, yeah, it is about family now, and I think that's why they were talking a lot about family for Taurus. I think it was Taurus they were telling, hey, you'll meet with your family, and you know, get to know, meet new family, and to introduce new family to. So, because Taurus is in the 4th house right now, which is the house of family, but it's also education, things like that. Now, you got to understand, right now, Virgo is in the 8th house. So when you're dealing with the 8th house investor, so internally, Virgo's got a lot of stuff going on. And if you don't understand astrology or you don't look at your chart regularly and stuff like that, that's why situations can drive too. Because see, Virgo's already critical. But then you put Virgo in the 8th house ruled by Scorpio, and Scorpio is very doubtful. So it's like somebody's trying to have a conversation with you, and not only are they critical, but they're also doubtful. So you're already like, first off, this person's criticizing me, and they don't even know what they're talking about. And second off, no matter what I say, they're implying that they don't believe me. So that could cause a lot of communication problems. And then you got that Mercury retrograde. So I want you to understand what's going on, because you said you wanted an update. But that can be that update. That is your update. If you got communication problems, these are the kind of reasons why. So you want to make sure you watch that video I did on the updated space chart, because that's definitely going to play a role. And ironically, the sun right now is in Virgo. So this person's sun sign is Virgo. So you can tell right now they're going through stuff right now. And both of you guys got Mercury retrograde. So it's definitely going to be communication problems between you two. So that's the major thing on your chart. If you notice, it's Gemini and Mercury issues. Because I've never seen, like, I'll never know why this astrologer did that. Either good fortune is in your 1st house or it's in your 9th house. Why would he draw an arrow? And look what he did. And he made sure he appointed it to the ascendant. Okay, well, that's normal. That's normal, okay. But why would he draw an arrow? He drew a line, rather, from your ascendant to your medium coeli and put part of fortune there. But he almost made it like a bullseye, but that's part of fortune with the 22 degrees. Almost like saying your mentor would be trying to help you and you wouldn't listen. Because this person, the person who is a Taurus, their mentor is an Aquarius. And it could be a moon sign Aquarius, because this person over here, moon sign is Aquarius. And they got the 22 degrees, which could imply twin flames. And it just looked like he was saying, the way he drew it and put it like a bullseye, and this being Mars is right there in Aries, it's like saying this person is going to be really short-tempered, kind of hot-headed. And they're not really going to appreciate this Aquarius. Because Aquarius is all about we, basically. We. But don't get me wrong, because Aquarius, they're about the community. They're not always we in a relationship, though. But they're like we when it comes to taking the knowledge and teaching people and about their community. But a lot of Aquarius, they like their space. They're like a Sagittarius. They like their space sometimes. So now your moon sign is also, the Taurus is also the sun sign and the moon sign. So that's real interesting. So this person is like really a Taurus. And Taurus rules the 2nd house. And if you notice, Cancer is in the 2nd house. So you could tell right now this person is really family oriented. Now, I'm not saying that's a problem, but that could be a problem, because this person's saying, wow, this guy keeps talking about his family. He's always talking about his family, but then when I try to talk to him, it's an argument. Or I tell him something and he just doesn't understand. Or vice versa. Vice versa. They don't understand when I'm talking to them. So sometimes it is you have to really understand astrology, because then you kind of understand what's going on. And you won't take it personal, because it's as above, so below. And if people don't understand astrology, or if they're not regularly checking their chart, you don't know why you feel a certain way, or you don't know why you're going through this thing. And then you might get caught up in a situation where you say, wow, I just wish I had known. I wish I had known what was going on up in space, and I would have had I would have handled it better. I wouldn't have said that. And right now the moon is saying, time to be serious. The 12th house, right now the moon is in the 12th house with Capricorn. It's all about seriousness, karma, and endings. Like I said, like they say, get your you-know-what together. get your you know what together. And then Pluto's going to affect Scorpio. So I just got finished saying, I think I said Virgo. Who's ever in that 8th house. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can't beat that. So in the 8th house right now with Pluto, see the universe is focusing in on this Taurus. So this is a good video. If you didn't catch everything I'm saying, you might want to listen to it again. And also the number 17 can be the karma number, but it's also the priest number. And that's what Vesta is in the universe. But it's in the 12th house. Right now, Capricorn and Pluto retrograde is in the 12th house. And let me look at it again. I think Juno's there as well with Vesta, if I'm not sure. Okay, well, Juno's there. Now, where's Vesta? Vesta's over there with Virgo. So, yeah, so the universe is trying to work on their spirituality because the 12th house is Pisces, which is spirituality, and then Vesta's the priestess, and she works with Virgo. So they're really working on Virgo and Taurus, but they're also working on the moon sign of Capricorn. So it's hard to understand it, but and that's why Juno's there. And then Saturn is not too far from Juno. Because Saturn will, I guess, it may be. I'm not sure which way these planets are going to move. But it's very close to the 7th house. Let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's very close to the 8th house. It's already in the 7th house. So the universe is shaking relationships up. And that's why you see all these 22s on an updated chart for today. And then they got 22s in their chart too. He even has a 22 at Vesta at 0 degrees. And then it's right there with Juno. The person on the right I'm talking about. So it's a funny thing. Because, like, I know this person. And I know, like, not too long ago, she like, oh, I need an update because we're not doing too good right now. But then she did talk to me. She said, we're doing better. She's like, we're doing better. And then she wrote me recently and said, right now it's not going too good. Let me get an update. So that could be signs that the universe is really working things out. That's why sometimes we can't just, it's like when you're a boxer. You got to wait it out. Like, let's just say it's a 12-round match and you guys are, doing pretty good. But in the 5th round, he really whips the crap out of you. Everybody, the crowd's laughing at you and everything. But as a boxer, you got to go, okay, that's the 5th round. But the 4th round, we were pretty much evenly matched. And we still got 7 more rounds to go. Because I'm saying it just to have a better outlook. It might be good days and bad days. And I'll tell anybody, always stay updated or check whatever you need to do. Get an update or check your horoscope. But I'm trying to teach people that are listening, you need to know what's going on up above. That's why I did that space chart. That's more important than anything. Because we can do what I did, you can do all 12 zodiac signs. And if you want to know about the planet, well, where's the planet at? Because there are some people that know that. Like, they say, I have a connection with this planet. And then you know where the planet is. Because every time this happens in my life, these are people that understand above better. But that's why you really want to understand it. So right now, the universe is really saying the Taurus family. And let me look at the Taurus again. And also, with Capricorn, they're saying, hey, let's get this together. Let's work on your relationship. So the Taurus, I don't know what's going on, but don't think the Taurus isn't thinking about the relationship. Because they are. Because the universe is going to make them with Pluto retrograde and Juno. And also, sometimes Pluto has to shake things up. So you have to be very careful, because something may have already happened or will happen that shakes up this person whose moon sign is Capricorn, or I'm sorry, or Capricorn. Let me count it up: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This Capricorn in the 8th house, the Taurus, because it's Capricorn is in the 8th house, and right now I think Virgo is also in the 8th house of the universe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's a lot of soul shaking up between both these people for the reasons that I'm saying. And it could seem like, wow, you know what's going on? It seemed like we were doing better. Now we're back to doing that. But that's because the universe is shaking up the soul. And getting back to, like I said, that guy in the 5th round, you can't just look at the 5th round and go, wow, I might as well stop boxing. He really embarrassed me. I give up. It's like, nah. 4th round, we did 4 rounds. Everything looked pretty even. Okay, they did really good in the 5th round, but that means I got to do even better in the 6th round. And plus, if you're boxing, you're going to win. You're trying to win even by knockout. So that's how you got to look at this. And that's why you want to know what's going on in the universe. So the universe is saying Taurus, it's all about family. Virgo, we're going deep inside your soul. It might even be some home issues there. It might be some health issues. So take care of yourself. Service issues, daily activities, children, animals, people you work with, co-workers, or if you're a boss, subordinate. But they're also, because the universe right now is looking at Capricorn. So that could be career issues or even reputation issues. But the reason why these things are happening with the Capricorn energy is they're trying to make the relationship better, trying to make the relationship more serious. Because with the Taurus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in the 8th house, Capricorn, and you got Juno and Pluto. So this is still a Scorpio energy though, because it's the 8th house and Pluto rules Scorpio. And then if you notice their 4th house, 1, 2, their Capricorn is in the 4th house. So it's family as well. So this all has to do with the journey. So that's why if it was an issue where you're saying, wow, this Taurus, or both of you might even have family situations, but you just have to balance it out. And what people do, they say, hey, they should understand. They should let me go out. They should let me, this is my family and blah. But it's not so much you want to argue it. You just got to learn the art of persuasion. It's more like discuss it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about relationships. It's two people. So it's not so much telling somebody, well, you're not my father, or blah blah blah. Well, if they can't understand this, then I don't know. Maybe this person, I don't need to be with this person if they don't understand it. It's more like you just learn the art of persuasion. Just how you talk to people and just how you do things, because it makes a big difference. Just showing somebody some consideration. It's like if a guy is running in and out of the house, she might be able to deal with that, but like he never ask her, does she need anything, or I'm on the way to the store, you want me to bring something back? Just little stuff like that. Because I listen to I think his name is Tim Robbins, and he's a life coach, very famous. Or Anthony Robbins, maybe it's Anthony Robbins. Let me see. Yep, Tony Robbins and Anthony Robbins. And been a life coach for a very long time. World famous. And it was husband that was he was rock and rolling. So he was always with the band, always on tour, and his wife was always home with the kid. So Tony Robbins was trying to get him to understand a few things. And he couldn't really see it. But this is what he could see. Let me just explain what the man could see. He couldn't really see anything else, but he could see this. I'm not leaving the music. I love music. I love the band. When I'm on that stage, I feel like a god. And this is what he said. He said this. And that's all he could understand. So how Tony Robbins finally helped this guy was like, okay, is she upset with you and the band? He said, not really. Tony Robbins said, well, what is she upset about? Well, she's complaining I'm never home, or when I am home, I'm tired and stuff like that. He said, exactly. He says, well, she's not complaining because you're in the band. She doesn't want you to give up what you love, but what are you giving her back? And he was like, give her something back. And so he made a goal that for now I'll come home, you know, I'll help out more at the house. I'll talk to her more, house the kids and stuff like that. Or I'll do more with the kids when I'm home and stuff. And then once he started doing that, she wasn't mad no more. So that's all, you know, it's like, it's simple things, but we just are very complicated. As humans, we're very complicated people. And for some reason, we're always looking for a good fight. And you can't be that way in a relationship. If you want your relationship to work, unless you guys both, like some people can do that. Like they can argue all the time and still have a relationship. But everybody can't do that because feelings get involved. Your feelings get hurt. All right, just give me a moment. I'm just looking around. All right, so what this update did is show what the possible situations might be. And again, another thing I always stress, let me just show you, you're going on a job, you really want to work, you need money, your money's getting low, it's things you want to do with your life, you know you need a job. You know you need a job. Okay, so here it is. You're online, you send out resumes and things like that, and somebody writes you back, says, okay, come on in, right? So give us a call, come on in for an interview. What day is good for you? So now you set it in enough time to really go online, learn a little bit about this company, because that's what they're going to ask you. You go over your interview questions, because you know they're going to ask you interview questions, and you make sure you look good. You know, if this is just a typical job, then you know you don't want to overdress. But if this is a professional corporate job, you know you got to really have that corporate look. But you still don't want to overdress, because you know you don't want to make people jealous. Because you got to think about all this. I mean, I study this stuff, and I've studied it. Like, it was a big article in a newspaper one time, and they said you just got to really be careful. Because even how you pull up in a parking lot matters. Because it could be somebody out there that sees you. Say, hey, that guy pulled up in here like an idiot, like that. And then you don't get the job for that reason. It's like silly stuff. And watch everything. Because the person you cut off and give the finger might be the person who's interviewing you. So you have to be very careful that whole time to drive through, to drive into that parking lot, to walk out of the car, greeting people. Just like that person you just walked by, like, I don't have to speak to them. Or you walk by maybe in a bad mood or thinking about something, that might be the person that owns the company. So all that stuff matters, as crazy as it sounds. But if you really want the job, this is my point. If you really want the job, you know that. So you prepared and you're ready. And then a person saying, here's some examples. Oh, well, why do you think you'd be a good candidate? Right away. Oh, well, you know, this is marketing, and I've had 10 years of marketing experience, and I know I started off at the bottom position, but I rose my way up, and throughout the 7 years of the company I was with, I helped gross income of $300,000. You're going to be saying all kind of stuff to make this person say, maybe we'll give them a shot. And they'll say something like, okay, well, you know, the only thing I can really, to be honest with you, the only thing I can see is that here we deal with English and Spanish speaking people, and I don't see any Spanish. I just don't know. Oh no, well, I did take Spanish in junior high school, and I still remember a few of those words. And I'm sure I'll pick it back up, and I have no problem, touching up, and you're gonna sell yourself because you really want that job and you want that money. But then when it comes to relationship, you're like, F it, F it. So what I left the garbage can off the lid. So what? So what I had it spill and then clean it up. So what? What's the big deal? So what? He pissed me off 2 weeks ago and I'm just pissed off. You understand? So the whole attitude is like really immature. It really is. But this is how we do each other as humans. Now the boss can come in a bad mood and he can even get a little curt with us. But we're not gonna base up to him. Why are we not gonna base up to the boss, whether it's a male or female? Because they signed that check. And we need that check because we got things we want to do with our life that requires money. So we're not gonna base up to the boss. If the boss did us wrong, we're not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna mess up on this project because 2 weeks ago he didn't even say good morning, walked right past. He spoke to Jim but didn't speak to me. So now I'm gonna mess this report up. Go ahead and mess it up. So then when they fire you, you'll know why you got fired. But at home you can do whatever you want. So it's like we're really immature. And I'm saying if you really want to be in a relationship, be in a relationship. Make that a goal. Make that a goal. And if the relationship goes rocky, at least you can say, hey, it wasn't me. I did all I could. Because otherwise, you're like, wow, what happened? And then some people finally lose it. And then they realize, wow, I really made a mistake. Or it's a terrible thing when you break up with the person you were with and they meet somebody else and them two seem to be getting along pretty good. Because now you're looking like, wow, why didn't that happen with me? So that person really prepared for the situation and they made a mental note that I can't mess this up because I need that money. And even if you do start to slip, maybe your job calls you or your job says to you, okay, listen, if that happens again, we're going to have to let you go. So now you got that warning. So you better not let it happen again. Because nobody's perfect. But my point is you do something about it if you want to keep that job. And if you want to keep getting that salary. You do something about it. So in your relationship, when you see things going a certain way, you can do something about it. Also, like I keep telling people, it's nothing wrong, especially if it's a twin flame situation. That's a difficult situation. There's nothing wrong with getting counseling. Like I said about Tony Robbins, that's what he's a life coach. There's nothing wrong with getting counseling and stuff like that if you really want it to work. And like me, see, people need to swallow their pride sometime. You need to say words to that person like, I really would like this to work. I would like to work this out. Just be humble because they can respect you. At least they can't argue with you because you won't allow that. Because my twin was a drama queen. All she wanted to do was argue at the end of the day. So that's what I started saying to her. I don't want to argue with you. I was trying to talk to you. Because here was a person that would argue with you. You stop talking to them. Then they'd follow you all around the building. Wouldn't take their eyes off of you. And then when you try to talk to them again, they go right back to the silly stuff. So it was a case where she would have to grow up. There could be no type of anything with her as long as she was acting like that. But that's what the universe is doing. And even after the eclipse, if you listen to a lot of these YouTubers that do astrology and talk about twin flame relationships, at that eclipse they were telling you, yeah, it's going to be different. People are going to be more inclined to want to work through their relationships. People that were quiet before are going to become more proactive to try to make the relationship work. So like I said, sometimes it has to do with as above, so below, and sometimes it has to do with maturity. I'm looking at the chart. So that's the main thing I can say is it just has to be better communications. Now, we're gonna look at these retrogrades a little bit on both charts. Because really, when you're in a relationship, that's why I said when you understand outer space, as above, so below. If you're in a relationship, you're supposed to be working on those retrogrades, because that can represent past life karma that you have to work on in this life. All right, so let's do that. Let me just find it really quick. All right, what did I just do? Right. Astrago. Okay, that's always a sign by stars. Molly's astrology. Past life. Okay, this is California Psychic. I'm just gonna see what it looks like, because I really want a good website to do this. Alright, this is California Psychic. Okay, so they really don't do the planets. So we don't want to use that one. We want one that's going to use these. Let me see what Molly is talking about. Molly astrology. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do Molly astrology. Give me a second, because I'm gonna want to save this. So I want to put it on a Word document, and I want to increase the text size to make it easier to read. Something else I want to do too. I also want to go back over your true north nodes, because that also is your why you're here, your purpose in this life. See, like I said, if you really want I'm telling everybody that's listening, if you really want your relationship to work, you got to stop thinking, what is your relationship doing for you? You got to find out what your purpose is in this universe and bring your life in harmony with that purpose. And then it's still going to be work, though. This is not going to be easy no matter who you get. I mean, every one of us might meet, one of us, or there might be a few of us, that's what I'm trying to say, that might meet somebody where, wow, everything's peachy, keeny, juicy, and we don't argue, and it's just so great. I'm so glad I met you. But other than that, most of us are going to go through some type of struggle, whether it's twin flame or any type of relationship. That's why I don't mean to be mean the way I talk, but you got to toughen up. You got to stop finding a reason to be upset about everything. Because there's always going to be challenges at your job. And it's funny, like I said, you'll toughen up for your job, though. At your job, oh no. I mean, so you could work with somebody you hate, but you'll still go in there because you want that money. And you don't want to risk losing that money. So you'll do it. You'll toughen up. But when a relationship or something, you're out the door. And that's why they say, and I hate to say this, but they say your home life really shows your real character. That's why anybody can run outside that door and be the most nicest, loving person in the world, or whatever. I care about this company or whatever. But then when they come home, be like the devil. The devil just walked in and stuff. So you don't want to have two different personalities. These are all the things. This is why we're doing this. All these retrogrades and all talking to astrologers and You're trying to, this is to help change, make you really change you, make you a better person, because if you make yourself better, you're going to make the people around, they're going to have to get better because you become better. Okay, so we're going to do your true north nodes. And yours is really Virgo Leo, because it's really cool. We're gonna say Virgo though. Well, the one on the left, the Taurus, the sun sign Taurus is and it's funny because yeah, whenever you're dealing with true north, yeah, it's kind of, I don't even have to do it, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't have to do it. Not his, because this person on the left is Taurus, and his true north node is Virgo, so it's obviously that it's this person right here. So that's like his life purpose is really work with this person and work out your retrogrades and things like that, which we're going to look at right now. And then you see their true north node. See, this is what I try to teach you guys. You could say that true north node is Gemini, but it's so close to that border that you see Taurus right there. So whenever you do astrology, it can be off by a little bit for whatever reason, time or just whatever reason. But when, like I learned, you got to use common sense. Plus, you can see it throughout other areas of the chart as well. So the person on the right, why you're here, your true life purpose is to be working with that Taurus. And it's like a Taurus Gemini thing going on. And then the person over here on the left, your true life purpose is to be working with that Virgo, but it's like a Virgo Leo thing going on. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Virgo Leo thing going on. And now if you look at this one to the right, see how Virgo Leo has Juno, which means serious relationship, Vesta, which means let's be spiritual, let's be family oriented, let's get along. And then you got the Mercury retrograde, but remember, they're both at 0 degrees. Right on the border. And then when you go to, that was Leo Virgo. And then when you go to his sign, where he's got Gemini Taurus. So when you go to his Taurus sign, and right on the border is basically the nurturer, which is Kyrus. So that's why I say we do it for a job. We'll study, we'll learn about the company, we'll send thank you notes, we'll smile, we'll go out our way to get that job, and then if we got to do all that stuff to keep it, we'll do it. No questions asked. But when it comes to a relationship, we go F it. Because like me, I take my chart seriously. I'm studying my chart. I'm still studying my chart. I'm looking at everything because I take all this more serious. Not so serious that you be uptight, though. You don't want to be uptight because that's going to turn people off. But I just want to understand this stuff. So that's why I said, but the universe is funny. Because then the universe gives me a person that's like the totally opposite. But at the same time, I wasn't going to let that person stop me, because you're looking at somebody that's been doing this for well over 40 years. I'm not going to let one person stop me from being me. That's just crazy. Like, my whole philosophy was, hey, I tried to open up the door. I tried to talk to her. It's up to her to catch up, because I can't keep going backwards. I did try to talk to you. I did try to be bad. I did try to work. But all you kept giving me back was crazy stuff. And if I showed a little bit of frustration, then you amplified that. But you never amplified none of the nice stuff I did. So you're like all the people that's crushed me since I've been on this planet. Why would I open up any further to you? It just doesn't make sense. So I moved on. But then that's going to force her to catch up if she really wants to. Because it's supposed to be, I just showed you on your charts, it's supposed to be two people working together. That's what your true north node is saying. That's amazing. True north node, Taurus. Well, the person on the left is a Taurus. True north node, Virgo. Well, the person on the right is a Virgo. And it's both the sun signs. It's Taurus and Virgo. So that's amazing. So that's why you do this together, because it's the universe telling you work together. And that's why some people get their natal chart, they don't share it with the other person and stuff like that. You got to realize this is a we type deal. It's we. Even if they don't like you saying it. Because the universe is way more powerful than you or your twin. And that's why I said a lot of times we'll go to a church, and then if they say anything, oh, it's in the Bible, I'm just going to do it. Oh, well, the pastor said do it, so I'm just going to do it. But this is your actual natal chart. This is really why you're here, this natal chart, believe it or not. But we don't take a lot of astrology seriously because they taught us, the powers that be taught us not to take astrology serious. But that should be one of the most serious things you take is astrology, because it's you, it's your natal chart, it's your life. It's telling you everything. And the more you fall in line with your chart, the more both of you fall in line with your charts, your individual charts, the more you guys will work it out together. Because there's plenty of energy from the universe and the angels that are helping you. All right. So I want to read this. Now we're going to do retrogrades, and that will be the conclusion of this update. This is MollyAstrology.com on retrogrades. When a planet goes retrograde, you experience the energy of the planet in a more subjective, internal way. Thus, your experience and expression of the planet's energy is very unique to you. There is a link to the past or a concern with the past. Karmic astrologers believe that retrograde planets indicate a link to a past life. So this is what you guys got to be focusing on, because this is your past life, your retrogrades. She's saying you should never interpret a retrograde planet, and you can say asteroid because asteroids go retrograde too. You shouldn't interpret it as punishment. That's why every now and then I get some people that are so messed up, and I try to calm them down and let's go over this and understand it, but they be so uptight. Oh, karma retrograde. And it's really hard to talk to them because they're just so out there. You got to calm down. So that's what this person is saying. You don't necessarily have to view it as punishment. It could be a great gift. You can use it as a great gift on just things you need to work on in this life. It doesn't have to be, oh, in that life I did this, or in that life I did that. Because again, you're giving too much energy to your past life when you need to use that energy for the present life that you're in. So your natal chart shows your life lessons, those you have already learned and integrated, and those you are still working on. It could be that you brought over the past life energy shown by the retrograde to assist you in your soul growth in this lifetime. You want to use this in your natal chart, this karmic energy, as a way to enter peace and happiness. Don't use it to validate a negative view of yourself. So when a planet goes retrograde, it's telling you to find this planet's energy within yourself. That's why it goes retrograde. Otherwise, if it was direct, you would try to find this outside of yourself. But this is going to be internal. Because we are universes even within ourselves. Air is mental or intelligent activity. Water is emotions. Fire is passion, ideas, and motivation. She didn't do the other one, which I believe is Earth. So it says retrogrades can mean a delay or that you have to take a longer way because you're taking that longer way to really work this out inside yourself. They say when you find people that have 0 retrogrades in their planet, they tend to be the ones who decide what they're going to be in childhood and actually do it. So she just said it. She answered a question because somebody told me that the true north node is always retrograde, but she said no, it's not. She said the true north node is usually retrograde, but occasionally direct. So let me just see if I can find that answer really quick. What does a direct true north node mean? She said this person said a direct true north node would be the same as a retrograde planet. But that's stupid. Then that doesn't make any type of sense because it's already I mean, it's either going to be retrograde or direct. So you're not going to tell me the direct is going to That's just silly. Don't you hate it when like you're looking for a hard answer and nobody answers and the one person that answers it is wrong and shit? That pisses you off. Okay, this one says, anyone have a north oscillates according to the... Let me just look this up. One person saying if you have a direct true north node, that can be unfortunate. I'm going to read to you why. As they go against the natural motion of the nodes. All right. But I don't think we got a clear answer today. I've never been given one. Because I have seen natal charts with direct. Even mine is direct. But it's in Cancer. I did have a crazy ass family though. So that maybe that's what it's talking about. Your purpose in this life is to be born in a crazy ass dysfunctional family. That makes a lot of sense. So maybe it is true. Alright. Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna go one more. True not, no. What is the difference from the term true not? I mean, no. All right. So, like I said, it's not a lot of information on there. At least we got a little insight on it. I'll give you that. All right, give me a moment. I am regrouping myself. All right, now we're gonna go back. All right, here we go. Now we're finally ready for the retrograde. Okay, so we're starting at the left. All right, so we're going to count the house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So your 11th house has Mercury, but this is your friends, association, groups. And you have Mercury direct. So let's find out why. Mercury retrograde. You have Mercury retrograde. Let's find out why. These people absorb thoughts and ideas through osmosis rather than careful, deliberate study. Own best teacher. Tendency to question what others accept as gospel. More capable of dealing with abstractions and impressions than those with Mercury direct. So the main thing I want to look up is osmosis. To pass through the wall of a living cell. So what they're saying, this person with Mercury retrograde, they won't necessarily, like, they rely on other people to tell them a lot of stuff, and that is in that house. So what you will want to do is learn how to think more. And you hear me say it to a lot of people. See, Mercury is thought and communication, but if it's Mercury direct, it means this person doesn't really want to think or communicate. But I just proved my point. When you want something like a job, you'll think, you'll do what you got to do to impress that person to hire you. But you should take that same, and I know people aren't going to do it, they just take that same attitude into relationships. Not that it's got to be so strict and unlike that. I'm not saying be strict, but just, I want this to work, and I want to make this work. And even when you talk to that person, like they already know. Because I know me, I'm not like that. Like I'm not gonna let somebody constantly tell me F you, F you, F you. My whole attitude is to say no F you. So I'm not with, that's why I stay single, because I'm not with that foolishness. Like, we gonna be together, we gotta really work for each other. It can't be F you, F you. Or you should just put up with me. Nah, I don't think so. Where else do you go where you say that and get away with it? Go tell your boss that. Look, sir, I don't feel like working today. You should just put up with it. Nobody's perfect. All right, so that's the first one, and that's in the that's for Taurus. Mercury in retrograde in the house of friends, association, and groups. So they rather let their friends, associations, and groups tell them how to think, because Mercury is thought. Now you gotta learn how to think on your own. That's like when a female breaks up with a boyfriend because a girlfriend told her to. And she never really gave a guy a chance, but she doesn't realize that her girlfriend is scheming on a boy, or they might already got something going on. But that's why you got to be a thinker. And that's why I say it cracks me up how, like we were talking about Virgo, how Virgo can be very critical and analytical. But then in a case like that, they don't analyze anything. They don't critically analyze. They just go by somebody else's thought and lose something that could have been a great thing for them. So you always want to be a thinker. Why am I doing this and stuff like that? Why am I doing it, or why am I not doing this? Why is it wise to do it this way? Because then you don't end up single, you don't end up alone, then you might be lonely and wish you didn't break up and all that other stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth house, Jupiter retrograde in the house of fun and relationships. And right now, if I'm not mistaken, right now in the universe is Jupiter and Libra in what I believe is the 9th house. Yep. So again, even in relationships, the universe. That's why a lot of times when people ask me to do their charts, it's right at the time the universe is talking to that person. You could tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's not 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So now what was going on in the 5th house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with relationships. So this now I get into the outer planets, because I didn't even know who the outer planets were, but the outer planets would be Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So Jupiter is considered an outer planet. These people are capable of taking advantage of opportunities that others ignore or pass by. They prefer to take another crack at things others have tried and failed. Their moral and ethical code, religious and philosophy are their own. They seek answers from within rather than subscribing to the standard dogma. They seek abundance in new, untried, unproven areas. And that's kind of funny, because they just got finished saying in the 11th house, this person would rather their friends give them to think. They rather their friends think for them. But in the 5th house, they're making it seem like they'd rather do it on their own. They'd rather think. And it looks like, I'm not perfectly sure, but it looks like the 5th house is opposed in an 11th house on this chart to the left. So if what they just said is right, this person will learn how to, because maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're, and I just said that. Like this, she's ready to get rid of her boyfriend based on what her friend told her. But you should be talking to your boyfriend. Because in the 5th house where Libra is, this person says they want to go it on their own. But also Jupiter means a loss. But I always tell you that when twins aren't doing good, they're actually messing the money up. Because Jupiter's trying to bless twin flames with money. So maybe that's what happened here. They were supposed to be in a relationship, but this person was more like they really wanted to be outgoing on their own. It's like, let me just give you an example for the younger people might understand. I don't know if the older people will. No disrespect. But just say you're going, okay, I don't know where you guys live, but let's just assume we all live up north, but we're going to Disneyland. And let me just tell you, Disneyland is a wonderful place to go. Very fun place to go. At least it used to be. I think it still is. So you're going on this trip, right? And let's just say I got a camera on the whole, everybody on the bus. And you're going on this trip to Disneyland all the way from down north. And you got the couples that they're hugged up, they're cuddled up. Some couples are hiding under the blanket or whatever. You know what they're doing. And it's all so sweet and romantic. But you got this one couple where she's not even sitting with her guy, or he's not sitting with her. And he's on one side of the bus and they're on the other. But every other couple is like a couple. You understand? That's what's going on in this 5th house of this Taurus. Because if that's what Jupiter retrograde means, they're basically saying, hey, I'll go it alone. I know we're supposed to be going together. We are going together. We're on the same bus, aren't we? You know? So that could be a horrible, horrible thing. That could be a horrible thing if you're like a Taurus is more sensual. They like to touch, they like to feel. And they want to be hugged up on it. They want to be hugged up on a fun trip, which is not house number 5 is all about fun. And also Venus and Pisces means unconditional love. And also with Neptune is idealistic and also healing. So this person really needs that sensuality. They need it. And if you notice, Leo's in the 3rd house of Gemini, which I already told you, that can be like a shorter relationship because of immaturity. And then over here you see Leo on the chart to the right. You see Leo, but you see the retrograde of Mercury. We already learned what that meant. And what house is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's still it's the 11th and 12th house, but it's still the 11th house, and they both had that Mercury retrograde. So these two apparently had a communication problem. But you see Leo energy. In both cases, you see Leo energy. Like 3rd house of communication, Leo. And then 11th house with Mercury, still communication, Leo. So they may not know how to work together as a couple because they're both trying to be bosses. Like, that's okay though. See, I got no problem. But there's got to be a time when one's a boss and one listens. And then another time, that's what I mean about learning how to work together. Because see, that's what Gemini is supposed to be. The twins working together, multitasking. But in their case, and then over here you see aggressive 2 fire signs, aggressive Aries, and again another Mercury. So they really have a communication problem they have to work on in this life. So this is why when you hear your chart, you should be taking notes and making goals. That's why I thank Spirit for telling me make sure you do the retrogrades again, because this is an update. And it's probably, I think it'll be a lot clearer understanding than the first time, but that's why you get updates. This is a journey. Okay, let's continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th house of relationship, Sagittarius, but you got Saturn retrograde. Now, what does that mean? These people nearly always grave doubts about their worthiness as human beings. So he's missing a word. What he meant to say, the reason why he misspelled, because grave is spelled a lot like have, A-V-E. So he meant to say these people nearly always have grave doubts about their worthiness as human beings. And that's not good because that's in a relationship sector. They can be very childlike in their behavior. So that's more like Gemini, the third house. But you got Sagittarius there, and Sagittarius is a little bit more mature. They can be very childlike in their behavior and fearful of taking chances. This is an ego-reducing kind of situation. There is usually a subconscious fear of rejection, of loss. So that's why you're probably dealing with the 12th house, because the 12th house is going to deal with your fears and your karma and your endings. There is usually a subconscious fear of rejection and loss. The limitations and responsibilities are self-imposed. This is probably the most difficult retrograde, but it's right in the relationship sector. So now you know why you got some relationship. So this Taurus has got to ask themselves, what's holding them back? And see, they're not going to tell you. That's why I said this is why you get your natal charts, because then you start to have a better understanding. Because we tend to take shit personal. We really do. And I'll tell you for a fact, that twin flame energy is powerful. That's the most powerful thing I've ever faced since I've been on this planet. So that's what's going on in the 7th house. Sagittarius is saying, hey, I'm the mature one. Let my Sagittarius energy help you with your fears, help you be more mature. But they're not going to open up if it's a communication problem. So you really have to show that person. You have to show that Taurus that, hey, I'm not the enemy. Like, I'm here to help. That's, like I said, the same thing you would do behind that desk. When that interviewer is talking to you, you ain't talking all that crazy talk. You're not saying, oh, I don't like the way he looked at me, or I don't like this, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna get him back because 2 days ago he did this. That's that immaturity. And of course, a relationship is not gonna work if you're immature. All right, now we get to that Capricorn, because right now the universe is working on Capricorn in the 12th house, like I told you guys. It's dealing with karma and fears and endings and stuff. Trying to get people to be a little bit more spiritual and less egotistical and third dimensional. So Pluto retrograde. Nearly half of the world's population has a Pluto retrograde in their natal chart. Its effect is hard to determine, except to say that these people generally have a harder time integrating themselves into the mainstream of society. When Pluto is very strong, these people find themselves doing things without understanding why. And is that in the 8th house? Yes, it is. So a little weird. No. But see, that's who he's attracted to, though. This Taurus is attracted to a person who's kind of serious-minded and a little anti-sociable. Not like the world. Like they're little. So he's attracted to that, though, because that's who he's going to end up in a relationship with. And when you follow her Pluto, it's right there with Libra and Scorpio. Perfect couple. And Scorpio, the 8th house. And when you follow the person on the right, the Capricorn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th house of family. And you see Jupiter there. Now let's see if this person, this Taurus, has any asteroids that are retrograde. And again, your true north node is supposed to be retrograde, so that's not a problem. Okay, anything with Lilith. Now, when you got Lilith retrograde, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's in the house of healing and home. But with Scorpio, it could be highly sexual, very freaky. They describe Lilith with Scorpio or anything that's really sexual as a person that holds a lot of their feelings in. But if the sex is really great, they may start screaming, or they might scratch up the guy's back or scratch up the person's back or something like that. But anytime you see Lilith retrograde, they're usually they're holding the energy in. And you have to be careful because you never know what they're going to do if they choose not to communicate. So that might be why they put this in Virgo, to help heal. Because I believe that's the only asteroid you have that's retrograde on the Taurus is Lilith. All right, now we'll go to the retrogrades over here for the Virgo. Neptune retrograde in the first, second, third house. Again, see, they're really trying to get these guys to grow up. Because if you notice, they got Sagittarius in the third house, which is Gemini. And that's usually when they're arguing, they keep breaking up. And this person has a lot of zeros on their chart, which means they will often start over. Or they may tend to start over. They might always find themselves starting over, resetting. Neptune retrograde. All right, then they said something I wasn't looking at. So she wants me to look at, I'm reading this piece of paper from Molly. She wants me to look at the person's rising sign and see if they have it says retrograde rising sign. No, retrograde ruler of the rising sign. So first we have to find the rising sign. Give me a moment. Rising sign, Gemini ruler is Mercury. So for the Taurus, that's true. But not for the Virgo, because the ruler of the rising sign, well, the rising sign is Libra, and the ruler would be Venus, and it's not retrograde. So we already did Mercury. So what is it saying? These people doubt their personal worth as individuals, and that might be the reason why they don't commit to their partner. They rather commit to their friends. They rather listen to their friends tell them what to do, and not their partner, because they don't feel worthy. It's inside themselves. They don't feel worthy. These people doubt their personal worth as individuals and are very concerned with their self-image. And that's why you have Capricorn, because that's about self-image, and they're called late bloomers. So this person, the Taurus, also has that going on. So the Taurus has a lot of internal issues going on, and it's easy to take it personal, but it's not really personal. Even if they try to make you think it is, it's not. It's inside. That's why I say I never let my... let me take the... My twin got inside of my head in different ways. She definitely got inside of my head because she almost drove me fucking crazy. But she never got inside of my head as far as me blaming myself for the way she was acting. She did other sneaky and weird shit to get inside my head. All right, so let's continue. Neptune retrograde. These people are frequently confused inwardly as to whether they are virtuous or not. Well, that's because Neptune rules Pisces, and Pisces is spiritual. So this person is going back and forth between maybe, you know how you see one person, they do something really ungodly, but then they act like they're godly. And not saying that they're not godly, because it is difficult to lead a godly life, but this person has a confusion with it. They're persistently trying to help others, whether their help is wanted or not. They are more susceptible and more easily taken in by others. That's kind of strange because Neptune retrograde usually is the realist. So I don't see how they would be taken in by other people, but that's what they said. Either way, that's in your first, second, and third house. It's in your third house going into your fourth house. I would say, looking at your chart, I would say for the Virgo, their Neptune is retrograde because their third house is basically telling them you got to grow up. So Neptune makes them a little bit more mature, a little bit more realistic, and then Mars gives them energy to stand up for themselves, and Uranus is kind of like that rebel, but it's going to help them mature. Because sometimes you have to talk. Because a lot of times you think if I just be quiet, everything will go well. But nobody's going to respect you because they're going to think you're weak until you show them that you're not weak. And then they'll respect you. So that's kind of what's going on in that third house. All right. Now this person has asteroids. Well, look, we'll get back to that. That's Pallas retrograde. We'll see if we can look it up. But it has to say. Otherwise, I'm just going to explain what it is. Because a lot of times they don't deal with asteroids online. All right, we already did Mercury retrograde, so that's it. So again, I'm going to just type in, but it has to say Pallas retrograde. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell you what it is and just add the retrograde to it, because they don't always deal with asteroid retrogrades online. All right, this is artcharts.com. Pallas retrograde signals the time to review current needs for social reform in the areas of government, feminine equality, the arts, and medicine. Retrograding Pallas reminds us of the immediate necessity of incorporating feminine values into the existing social conventions and systems. So, okay. In this person's no. In this person's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 house of home and service, they will want to offer service to like issues of equality or female equality or reform, social reform, or the arts and medicine. And that's why I said medicine, because medicine would be the 6th house where Virgo is, health. But ironically, this person didn't know that they're Pallas retrograde. This person who wrote this did not know that this person's chart has Pallas retrograde in the 6th house, but that would be medicine because it's dealing with health. So once again, you can see the people that put this chart together knew what they were doing. All right, that will conclude for this update. If anybody else is interested in any of the services offered out here, anything that's intuitive, we also do phone consultation, anything from numerology. It doesn't have to be twin flame. It could be compatibility between relationships, people, relatives, anything. We do it all out here. So all you have to do is contact us. That information is in the description box. God bless.